Have you ever paused to consider whether being too kind could actually be a hidden danger? In a world where kindness is often celebrated as a supreme virtue, what if the very trait we admire most could lead to unforeseen challenges and personal hardship? This paradox is not just a philosophical curiosity, but a reality many face, often without realizing the true cost. Zen Buddhism offers a lens through which we can explore this complex issue. It teaches that kindness, while immensely valuable, needs to be balanced with wisdom. Excessive kindness can lead us down paths where our well-being is compromised, our boundaries are blurred, and our intentions are misinterpreted. Today, we will embark on a journey to uncover the 11 dark sides of kindness, those hidden pitfalls that arise when we become too generous, too accommodating, or too self-sacrificing. In this exploration, we will weave together Zen stories, philosophical insights, and real-life examples to reveal how excessive kindness can sometimes backfire. By understanding these dark sides, we can learn to navigate our interactions with greater wisdom and maintain a balance that honors both ourselves and others. Prepare yourself for an enlightening journey that challenges conventional wisdom and offers a deeper understanding of how to practice kindness without losing yourself in the process. 1. Loss of personal boundaries. Imagine a life where every request for help is met with a yes, where your own needs and time are always secondary to the needs of others. This is the reality for many who find themselves perpetually caught in the cycle of excessive kindness. Zen teachings stress the importance of maintaining personal boundaries to protect one's inner harmony and well-being. When kindness evolves into self-neglect, it can significantly erode these boundaries. For instance, consider someone who habitually agrees to take on extra work or help friends, even when they are already stretched thin. Initially, this may seem like a noble endeavor, but over time, it can lead to exhaustion and resentment. This continual overextension can create a pattern where your own needs are consistently ignored, resulting in burnout. True kindness, according to Zen principles, involves understanding when to set limits and protect your own well-being. By doing so, you ensure that your acts of kindness are both sustainable and genuinely beneficial. 2. Manipulation and exploitation. Excessive kindness can sometimes make you a target for those who seek to exploit others' generosity. Zen Buddhism highlights the necessity of being aware of how one's kindness might be misused. When you are overly accommodating, you may inadvertently invite manipulation from those who recognize your willingness to help without question. Consider the story of a Zen monk who was renowned for his generosity. Over time, he found himself inundated with requests from people who took advantage of his kindness, using his resources and time without reciprocating. The monk's realization that his generosity was being exploited led him to adopt a more discerning approach, ensuring that he offered help in a way that did not compromise his own well-being. This story illustrates the importance of being mindful of how your kindness is received and used, and learning to navigate relationships with both compassion and discernment. 3. Internal conflict and self-neglect. Excessive kindness often involves putting others' needs before your own, leading to self-neglect. Zen practices emphasize the balance between caring for others and oneself. When you continually prioritize others, you may experience internal conflict and a growing sense of dissatisfaction as your own desires and needs are left unmet. Consider a person who is always the first to volunteer and help, even at the expense of their own time and well-being. Over time, this constant self-neglect can lead to feelings of frustration and a diminished sense of self-worth. Zen teachings advocate for self-awareness and mindful self-care, helping individuals strike a balance that allows for compassionate action without losing sight of their own needs and identity. 4. Unfulfilled expectations. One of the darker aspects of excessive kindness is the potential for unfulfilled expectations. When you consistently go out of your way to be kind and generous, others may begin to expect this level of behavior as the norm. This can create a cycle of expectation where your kindness is no longer appreciated, but rather taken for granted. For example, imagine someone who always goes the extra mile to help their colleagues at work. Initially, their efforts are seen as commendable, but over time, their colleagues may come to expect this level of support as a given. When the person is unable to meet these expectations due to their own limitations, it can lead to feelings of disappointment and frustration. Zen teaches us that kindness should come from a place of genuine compassion, not obligation. Learning to manage expectations and communicate clearly about your limits can help maintain healthy relationships without leading to resentment. 5. Loss of personal autonomy. Excessive kindness can sometimes result in a loss of personal autonomy. When you are overly focused on meeting others' needs and desires, you may find yourself sacrificing your own goals and aspirations. This loss of personal autonomy can be particularly damaging, as it undermines your ability to make choices that are aligned with your true self. Consider a person who continually puts the needs of their family or friends above their own ambitions. They may find themselves unable to pursue their own dreams or passions, as their time and energy are consumed by others. Zen Buddhism emphasizes the importance of personal growth and self-realization. By maintaining a balance between helping others and pursuing your own goals, you preserve your autonomy and ensure that your kindness does not come at the expense of your own personal development. 6. Emotional exhaustion. The emotional toll of being excessively kind can be significant. Constantly giving to others without receiving adequate support or recognition can lead to emotional exhaustion. Zen teachings suggest that true compassion involves not only giving, but also nurturing oneself to maintain emotional balance. For instance, consider someone who is always available to listen and offer support to their friends, yet rarely receives the same level of care in return. Over time, this imbalance can lead to feelings of emotional fatigue and a sense of being drained. Zen practices encourage individuals to balance their acts of kindness with self-care and emotional replenishment. By recognizing and addressing your own emotional needs, you can sustain your capacity for kindness without depleting yourself. 7. Resentment and frustration. Excessive kindness can sometimes lead to feelings of resentment and frustration. When you continually put others first, especially at the expense of your own needs and desires, it can create a growing sense of inner conflict. This resentment often arises when your kindness is not reciprocated or appreciated as you had hoped. Consider someone who frequently goes out of their way to accommodate friends and family, only to feel ignored or undervalued in return. This one-sided effort can lead to frustration and a sense of injustice. Zen Buddhism teaches that while kindness is valuable, it must be balanced with self-awareness and realistic expectations. By addressing and expressing your feelings honestly, you can prevent resentment from building up and maintain a healthier approach to kindness. 8. Difficulty in establishing genuine connections. Ironically, being overly kind can sometimes make it difficult to form genuine connections. When your kindness is motivated by a desire to please others or gain approval, it can come across as insincere. This superficial approach can hinder the development of deeper, more meaningful relationships. For example, someone who is constantly trying to be accommodating and agreeable might struggle to form authentic connections because their behavior may seem driven by a need for validation rather than genuine affection. Zen practices emphasize the importance of sincerity and authenticity in relationships. By being true to yourself and your values, you can build deeper and more fulfilling connections with others. 9. Neglect of personal growth. When kindness becomes excessive, it can overshadow your own personal growth and development. By focusing too much on others' needs, you might neglect your own opportunities for self-improvement and learning. This can create a stagnant environment where your personal and professional growth is stunted. Consider someone who devotes all their time to helping others and neglects their own educational or career aspirations. Over time, This can lead to a lack of progress and fulfillment in their own life. Zen Buddhism advocates for a balance between helping others and pursuing personal growth. By setting aside time for your own development, you ensure that your kindness does not come at the cost of your own advancement. 10. Compromised decision-making. Excessive kindness can cloud your judgment and decision-making abilities. When you are overly concerned with how others might feel or react, you may find it difficult to make decisions that are in your best interest. This can lead to choices that are more about pleasing others than aligning with your own values and goals. For example, a person who constantly seeks to avoid conflict might make decisions based on others' preferences rather than their own needs. This can lead to a lack of clarity and direction in their life. Zen teachings suggest that clarity of mind and alignment with personal values are crucial for effective decision-making. By balancing kindness with self-awareness, you can make decisions that are both compassionate and true to your own principles. 11. Perpetual cycle of validation, seeking. Finally, excessive kindness can lead to a perpetual cycle of seeking validation from others. When your actions are driven by a need for approval or recognition, you might find yourself constantly chasing external validation. This cycle can undermine your self-esteem and lead to a dependence on others' opinions. Consider someone who is always striving to be the perfect friend, employee, or family member in order to gain approval. This constant need for validation can lead to a lack of self-confidence and a feeling of inadequacy. Zen Buddhism teaches the importance of inner contentment and self-acceptance. By cultivating a sense of self-worth independent of external validation, you can break free from this cycle and find true fulfillment. In exploring the 11 dark sides of excessive kindness, we have uncovered the subtle but significant ways in which our well-intentioned acts of generosity can sometimes lead to unintended consequences. From the erosion of personal boundaries to the quest for validation, these challenges highlight the need for balance and self-awareness in our approach to kindness. Zen Buddhism offers valuable insights into how we can practice kindness with wisdom, ensuring that our actions serve both ourselves and others in a meaningful and sustainable way. By recognizing these hidden costs and addressing them with mindful consideration, we can navigate our relationships with greater integrity and compassion. As you move forward, remember that true kindness is not about sacrificing yourself at every turn, but about finding a harmonious balance that respects both your own needs and those of others. In this way, you can offer your kindness in a way that uplifts and enriches all involved, without falling prey to the dark sides of excessive generosity. Thank you for joining me on this journey of discovery. May you find wisdom in your kindness and strength in your balance.